Miss McCray has her hands full in a life she never imagined. Interpreting for the deaf at her local church, teaching ASL here at Boyd, and coaching varsity cheer as well. But that's not all this incredible woman does with her time. You do so many things in your life and with your life at the moment. And as a child, did you ever think that, this would kind of be what you were doing?
Actually, I had no idea what I'd be doing. I actually wanted to be a lawyer, and then all of a sudden, sign language found me, and it fit. It really fit. I think it's the fact that it encourages me to be a lifelong learner. You become like a maverick of all trades. Because you take on the role of the person you're interpreting for. So one day I might be a doctor, the next day I might be a lawyer, the next day I might be a preacher or a nurse, or you just never know. So I love the variety of it. You learn different cultures. You get to meet different people. Like when I interpret for a medical student, they're in medical school. Now I'm a medical student because I have to know this terminology to be able to interpret it. I have to know what this looks like. I have to make it visual for this medical student because he wants to become a doctor, So you take on all that, and I'll never get a medical degree, but I'll have almost the knowledge that he needed to get it. So, it's like I'll master none of it, but I learned so much, When I was like in 5th grade, I can remember kids being so mean. And they used to make fun of me because they said my hands were really big. And so what I used to tell myself is, one day God is going to use my hands to bless somebody. And then I got into deaf ministry, and I was like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Signing at church gives me that opportunity to kind of stay flexible and stay up on my skills. Everything is about expression. Everything is about being visual. So I think my personality comes out in my signing. The deaf community is extremely tight-knit. There are no secrets in the deaf community. If Sue in the deaf community becomes pregnant on the West Coast, the East Coast will know about it before the sun sets. They tell each other everything. They're very close-knit. They're interdependent.
Deaf culture and her role in it is a big one, and she holds it very close to her heart. But there's another part of her life that touches her in a very special way, and that is foster care. Foster care isn't something that you always thought you'd be involved in, but how did you get into that field? How did that become a part of your life?
Well, like I was saying, my mother used to work with DHS and DSS, which is Department of Social Services and Human Services. And so she was always having to take children out of their homes and place them with foster families, and working with the families to kind of get them, back on track, or maybe taking anger management classes or substance abuse classes, things like that. But I thought it was always cool, to be able to take care of kids and just love them for as long as, give them a good home and feed them. And then, when mom and dad were ready to step up or, kind of get their lives together, send them on their way.
As a single mother, what's it like to handle 3 kids at once?
It's fun. It can be maddening. Sometimes I'm pulled in 100 different directions. Of course, I started with one, my own, and so I'm all over the place with her. And then when I got my foster boys, they came in with a lot of issues. I have one that has speech therapy, so we have to do that, and then behavioral therapy and play therapy. So it was a lot to kind of add on to what we were already doing, but it's worth it because you see the progress that they're making, and it's like cool to feel like I'm touching someone's life, So when I got Jonathan, he was 5. He's 6 now. He just had a birthday in September. And Riker, he's 3. He'll be 4 on New Year's Eve. And then my daughter is 11. She turned 11 in August. Yeah, she cheers for cheer athletics. She's just like the sweetest kid that you'd ever meet, Jonathan, he's a sweetie. He didn't used to be. He scared me when I first got him. The first night he came to my house, you kind of let them get the lay of the land. And so I was like, stay up as late as you want, kind of figure out where everything is, where the bathroom is, where your bedroom is. When 11:30 rolled around, I'm like, okay, well, time to go to bed. Yeah, I've never gotten cussed out by a 5-year-old. I was waiting for the pea soup to start flying. So But he's come a long way. He's like the sweetest thing you'd ever meet. You never know that he had any kind of issue. I got Jonathan December 16th. So it was like the last day of school last year for Christmas break. And his parents are doing really well. And so my last day with him will be Monday. Riker, never seen a kid so smart before in my life. Like, he knows his colors, his numbers, his letters. He recognizes them. He'll be with me for a while. I got him in July. My role in their life would be to just to care for them, to make sure that they're safe, protected, clean, fed, and making sure they're getting all the services they need. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not a lot, you know? I mean, the grand scheme of things, it's not something I wouldn't already do. It's like I do it for my child, so I can do it for someone else's, you know? My perspective, I think, on life and I guess the struggles that people face have changed. I think a part of my life was really sheltered, and so I wasn't exposed to a lot of things that some people see. Having these kids in my life kind of lets me see the world through their eyes, and I'm not seeing just inside my bubble now. I'm seeing what my kids have seen, you know. They've seen drug and alcohol abuse. They've seen life with no electricity and maybe no food, and things that you would never, or at least I would have never anticipated a 3-year-old would have experienced, you know. I'm like, I've lived a long time, 24 plus years, and, you know, I've never experienced starvation. I've never experienced a parent with drug or alcohol abuse problems, so. It's eye-opening. It's eye-opening.
She makes the best out of every day and every opportunity, never taking a single moment in life for granted. Miss McCray is a teacher, coach, mentor, and learner who has finally found her place on earth, caring, loving, and helping for those in need so that hopefully one day they can learn to help themselves. As the future of this mother is not set in stone, what's next for her is for history itself to decide.